Okay, so, peoples, when you think of Popples, Power Rangers, Luna's Petunia, Treehouse Detectives, and, well, anything else, what is the first sign that you think of? That's right, you think of Hasbro, the world's largest and best games company. But there was a time way back, in 2010 onwards, when you'd been thinking of Saban Brands themselves. So, in this video, I'll be talking about the beginnings and end of Saban Brands and what happened to it after that in the first place. So, on with the video. Oh, the story begins when on May the 5th, 2010, Saban Capital Group announced that it would start Saban Brands, a successor company to Saban Entertainment, dedicated to acquiring entertainment and consumer brands. Yeah, that went pretty well, didn't it? It lasted for about from 2010 to 2018. On May the 12th, 2010 of that same year, it was announced that Saban Brands brought back the Power Rangers franchise from Disney after they originally made it in the first place for $43 million and would produce a new, at the time, 19th season of Power Rangers that began airing on Nickelodeon on February the 7th, 2011, with the previous 700 episodes being rerun on Nicktoons. It was also announced that Saban Brands was in negotiation to buy 3 other brands. On the same year, August the 17th, 2010, it was announced that Saban Brands bought Paul Frank Industries, another animation company, doing such marvelous shows. On May 1st, 2012, Kisco Media Ventures LLC, an affiliate of Saban Capital Group, placed a bid to acquire some of 4Kids' assets, including the US rights of Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise and the CW4Kids block, for $10 million. 4K Acquisition Corp, a subsidiary of Konami, then placed a bid. On June the 5th, 2012, 4Kids commenced an auction between Kisco and 4Kids Acquisition, which then perjoined, so 4Kids, Kisco, and 4K Acquisition could consider an alternative transactions. On June 15th, 2012, 4Kids files a notice outlining a proposed deal in which its assets would be divided between Kisco and 4K Acquisition, which was finalized on June 2016, 2012. The deal saw 4K Acquisitions acquiring the US rights to the US Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, and Kisco acquiring 4Kids' other brand assets, including the agreements of Dragon Ball Z Kai, Cubics, Robots for Everybody, Sonic X, and the CW Network's Saturday morning program blocks. On July 2nd, 2012, it was announced that Saban Brands via Kisco Media Ventures would begin programming in the block in the fall. And on July 12th, 2012, it's announced that the block would be named Vortex with 2 X's, which launched on August the 25th, 2012, and ended on September 27th, 2014, 2 years later. On June 2012, more or less the same time as the 4Kids and the Kisco and 4K acquisition things, it was announced that Saban Brands plans to reintroduce the Popples franchise with new merchandise in fall 2013. Basically, they were just trying to do a load of other stuff during that time, which, to be honest with you, it actually worked. And it's still on Netflix, the Popples ones, and as of this moment, I believe you can still get the Popple toys on Amazon, although that could be likely to change. On August 3rd, 2012, it was announced that Saban Brands acquired the Playforge, the development team behind App Store success stories Zombie Farm and Zombie Life. On September 19th, 2012, and Saban Brands announced that it acquired ZI, provider of Kids Safety Online content. Basically, I think they just bought the entire thing. On September 25th, 2012, Saban Brands announced that they reacquired the Digimon franchise and its most recent season, well, at the time anyway, Digimon Fusion, with Toei Animation handling Asian licensing and distribution, and Mala Vista Entertainment handling all the other global and licensing and distribution rights. Now we're on to 2013, where on July the 3rd, it was announced that Saban Brands signed a deal to manage the distribution, licensing, and merchandise of Senekai Champions in North America and Israel, and to be broadcast on the Vortex channel platform. On August the same year, Saban Brands shut down the Playforge because of poor sales. Not even a whole year went past before they were like, nope, shut down immediately. Then, the next year, Saban Brands and Lionsgate Films announced in May 2014 that they are planning to produce a new Power Rangers feature film, which would only launch a Power Rangers film franchise. Don't think it ever did. Could be wrong, but I don't think it did. Or by August 4th, 2014, Saban Brands sold Kids Eye to Leapfrog Enterprises. Later on, Macbeth Footwear was acquired by Saban Brands, and in December of the same year, Saban Brands formed two divisions, Saban Brands Lifestyle Group and Saban Brands Entertainment Group, to expand their holdings. On July the 6th, 2014, it was announced that Saban Brands Lifestyle Group acquired Mambo Graphics. Next year, 2015, March 24th, it was announced that Saban Brands Lifestyle Group had acquiring Piping Hot, which was a Australian surf and street clothing brand. Interesting. Then, Saban Brands developed its first two properties, Cahoba Clashers and Treehouse Detectors, as animated series, which was picked up by Netflix of all people in 2016. Yeah, the same people who bought up Popples, Power Rangers, and other stuff the previous years. Then, lastly, in February 2018, Saban Brands appointed Hasbro as the Game Master toy licenses for Power Rangers in 2019, with a further option to buy the franchise, which it did. Massively, in fact. On May the 1st, 2018, Saban agreed to sell Power Rangers and other entertainment assets to Hasbro for $522 million US dollars in cash and stock, with the sale expected to close within the second quarter. People were at the time were like, what? So they decided to buy so they decided to buy Power Rangers, did they? Huh, interesting. I think they wanted to get rid of them because they were focusing on all the other companies. So, that happened. Other properties in the deal included My Pet Monster, Popples, Julius Jr., Luna Petunia, and Treehouse Detectives. Only 9 existing employees out of the deal. Then they decided that they would sell the product because they wanted to focus on other stuff like the Piping Hot range and the Lifestyle group. Only 9 existing employees out of 60 would be retained by the group, and the Saban Brands subsidiary ended operations upon the closure of the business on July 2nd, 2018. So, do I honestly believe that it was the right move that Hasbro did to buy Power Rangers and all the other stuff from Saban? Honestly, yes. Yes, I do. I mean, Hasbro is one of the most powerful companies in toy manufacturing, and was like, why not add all these stuff to our line of toys and animations? So which they did. And yes, it was all, I think they did a pretty good job with that. And I think it was a time when they realized, great. We can't do this anymore. We're going to sell all our entertainment properties to mostly Hasbro. If they didn't sell it, I think if they didn't sell all those entertainment things, I don't think it would have worked. Otherwise, people did not like Power Rangers under Saban anyway, I think. And they wanted moving on. So so they made the perfect choice there by selling it. So yes, that is the story of the rise and fall of Saban Brands. Obviously, Saban is, as a company, that is still around, but the entertainment's gone. So, this is Hammer Brook, signing out. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.